Weird. How do you define weird when it comes to this series where monsters are made out of a camera, turn you invisible, or when space witches are trapped in dumpsters? Every episode of Power Rangers is weird, but some things just go into the depths of space to pull things like Goldar becoming a house pet for Bulk and Skull. A lot of these on my list are fun, bizarre, good episodes. A few are crummy that don't make a lick of sense, but I'd say that's the beauty of Power Rangers. Zane was frozen for a few years, nearly died. What happens when he comes out? Tries to date Astronema. Beauty overrides logic, I guess. Thanks again goes to Marie for this topic. She came up with this huge list of ideas. I can't do them all, but making a list really helps me. Don't worry, I won't be only doing her ideas. I have other topics from people planned out. But if you have a lot of things, this is the best way you can put them in a comment.
Trick or treat!
The Pumpkin Rapper, one of those monsters that became a fan favorite. We have most of the Rangers fighting a monster with an upside down head, and he randomly raps all his lines. It's a good holiday episode. Were they trying to reference Michael Jackson's Thriller? I'm not sure. Pumpkin Rapper puts pumpkins on the Rangers' heads. Kim's doing that game show with Skull. It's a modest, creepy episode for a kid. This is one of those examples of Japan and US stories mixing in a blender, and it's Ju2 footage, so this monster is exclusive to MMPR. I really enjoyed it. I wish more holiday specials did something like this. He even came back in season 2 and got a Zord fight.
Nadira's dream date.
This was such a bizarre episode. For the past year, tons of stuff happened. Alex was presumed killed, Rancic took over the Q-Rex, freaking Mr. Collins almost died. Yeah, it was a miscommunication with Lucas's poem, but seeing Rancic trying to be nice, telling the Cyclops to not attack him, cleaning his suit, I didn't know how to feel. I kind of felt bad for Nadira. Lucas didn't even have the balls to tell her it was a mistake. Instead, he went in as a disgusting slob. You might as well have attacked her. What you were trying to avoid happened anyway. If you think about it, the Rangers were the bad guys in this episode. Nadira genuinely thought Lucas liked her. No ulterior motives like Miratrix and Dax, for example. The series could have ended in a peaceful resolution if Lucas stuck it out. Yeah, she's annoying, spoiled plus evil, but we knew she could be nice. Was there such harm in actually trying? This episode is great in how you could look at the series in two different perspectives as a kid than as an adult. Ending a series like this would have been anticlimactic. At the same time, it might have worked out.
Movie madness.
I had to pick this one. This monster had the power to create different dimensions all in a movie set. Katie was dancing on the stage looking like Belle in Beauty and the Beast, Wes being the action hero, Eric humiliated as Tarzan, stereotype kung fu fighting Chun-Li Jen. Then at the end of the script, the Rangers get killed off. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's weird rules how this all works. I get it. Torture the Rangers with stuff they like to do. Have Wes get hurt doing a stunt. Remove Eric's serious nature. Katie falling in love and taking it away from her. But everything's controlled by this magical script. It has that much power to the point the monster had to end the illusion because the last page was missing. I always got annoyed that Tripp didn't write on the script, "The director dies by light falling from the rafters."
The Cryin Out Loud.
Ah, yes, the episode where Kat and Tommy play parents with a friend's kid probably made all the Kat-Tommy shippers very happy. This would have been a nice reference to the 25th anniversary, and it plays on parents' fears. Crying babies are annoying and scary at the same time. It could be a serious problem. Then the Machine Empire comes in and weaponizes kids. I would argue the best plan done in Zeo. Imagine the monster did this across the entire planet. Forget it. It's done. Everyone's trying to protect this kid as bad guys are trying to steal him. You're watching the episode and going, wow, this is messed up. It makes you think a monster could make the safest thing in the world the deadliest problem out there. PR allows this type of crazy, so you could think of anything that would ruin society in a moment. Something like turning every home and apartment into a monster. Hell, turn the planet into a monster. Worked with Unicron. Although, I want to say one thing. Alpha could have teleported the kid.
Leader of the Whack.
Yeah, I know, I bring this episode up a lot. It's the most kooky episode Dino Thunder made, I would say on par as an Ava Ranger episode. Everyone has inner personality, so all the characters, including Devin and Cassidy, change. It gave them insights on how the other people act. Connor turned into the nerd, Ethan the jock. Both of them would have better understanding between them, which does show from this point. On the weirder side, Devin turned into a Grease/Fonzie joke. This side of the episode was really odd. I got Cassidy's change, but Devin's? I didn't think it fit because he's not a nerd like Ethan, but not stuck up like Cassidy. It was just weird to me. I loved the episode regardless, but I think they could have given him a different inner personality, like he was assertive and confident without wooing an entire room, like a poor man's Neo. It's great that it even gets worked into Tommy's story. I like these form of break episodes, in this case, a good way to laugh.
And action.
Oh yeah, this is the worst RPM episode, but that's why it's the weirdest one. However you feel about this episode, this is canon, this happened, period. So I have to treat it as such, like how I nitpicked Alpha's Magical Christmas Day. In the RPM universe, while the Rangers are saving the world, they have the time to film a TV series. Dr. K endorses this as well, and Tanaya 7 works here too. So that means Dylan willingly never asked about his background or why he has no memory. No one asked her about where Venjix is located. Kay never secretly scanned her in order to try to reverse the cybernetics. No one put a tracker on her. Did she never attempt to break into the base? But I guess that's not needed because she could spy on them. I also assume that Venjix could break into the TV broadcast and see how the military forces and the RPM garage are laid out. I love how they're hypocrites when Kay was found out in creating Venjix while you allowed Tanaya 7 to work on your TV show. These are just some of the problems this episode brings up. I wonder what they did when Tanaya was brainwashed and upgraded. Did she still come into work or did she call in sick? Does this mean Scott's dead brother is fake or was that real? You know, you're using a Ranger equipment in a TV production, so what happens when a real monster attacks? Kay always complains about power levels. You wanted to frame the episode within the show. This is what you get. Complete, utter nonsense.
Wild Wipeout.
PR Sliders episode. What would it be like if the Power Rangers were the bad guys and the good guy was Lothor? Tori hardly got much to do on Ninja Storm, but at least she got to tackle the crazy ones. It was weird seeing Lothor nice and happy. It made sense too, because Kanoi and Kaya are opposites. Simply flip them and it would change how everything played out. Kaya didn't really have anything to do himself besides his fighting skill, while Kanoi had a wife and eventually became the leader of the Wind Ninja Academy. So he just corrupted all the students, made them horrible people, abused the Ranger powers. Lothor had nothing and had to be like Cam and Ninja Ops. It was ridiculous seeing Lothor and the other generals combining their weapons PR style. Tori didn't even give it a second thought. She hated the evil Rangers and went on Lothor's side. I love that, because if Shane or Dustin ever did that for real, I know she could get over that emotional break and deal with them if needed. It was a little bit of character growth.
Storybook Rangers.
This one was so crazy. It was ambitious too. It required a lot of effects work. You get that Wizard of Oz feel. Rita throws 3 Rangers into a storybook, happy-go-lucky backgrounds, odd, Tickle Sneezer Santa Claus, the putty stealing the book, the Rangers trying to find the book, they have to fight the Abominable Snowman, then the most awkward thing ever done is Mondo the Magician. What magician wears a leather suit and makes his face silver? Seriously? I get it, they needed to use footage, but of all things, of all monsters that you pick from Die Ranger, it's so far from Christmas theme. You didn't want to use a new monster, even though this was filmed 4 episodes from the season finale. Just recycle something. It never worked. I remember when this aired, I was creeped out at Mondo, and I was completely puzzled. The entire book was this nonsense, then you see this Zord fight. Can you just forget the Zord fight for once? You don't have to always do it. Storybook always made me think of the Nightmare Before Christmas movie. It just randomly mishmashed these things.
Presto Change-o.
This one went high on my list, and for the wrong reasons. Like an action, everything we see on the screen is canon. The episode annoyed and freaked me out. The whole point of Preston's character was to become a magician, and it seemed in this universe people didn't believe in it. A monster gives him real powers, so he starts doing weird things, making lots of bunnies, then does a performance in front of the school. Victor outright doesn't believe in magic, so that sets up it's not real. But when Preston creates a lion, saws Monty in half, and turns him into a Minecraft character, like, no one cares? It's happening, but no one runs out? I'm like, really? So everyone here accepts this? Okay, I'm just amazed how Monty didn't even care what was going on to him. I'm cut in half or I'm made of blocks. I'm good. Where's the news report about the most powerful teen on the planet? Why isn't anyone scared of Preston? This weirded me out for the wrong reasons. This episode has repercussions to the series. I would be okay with this if it was done in a more cheeky way, like, oh, who cares? We saw Rangers use magic before, big whoop, but they didn't do that. Think before you write episodes like this. It might be cute on paper, but you don't care about logic in this season? Is Ninja Steel meant to subvert our expectations like a certain movie did last year?
Honey, I shrunk the Rangers.
Rangers turning into bugs all while their suits are on. Yeah, I think it's the weirdest thing done. But not just that, it takes place entirely in Divatox's submarine. I think this is the only time we ever get this much screen time for the enemy base. You can see how really incompetent Elgar and the rest are. That's why she hates everyone. I don't even blame her anymore. Imagine living with Elgar for a week. I thought it was really cool they spent the money making these giant sets, the water slide. A lot of work went into this one. Then we had the creepiest moment ever. Divatox using her lizard tongue, trying to eat the Rangers. I was surprised that was totally cool to do in a kid's show. I really don't understand age ratings. That's another can of worms. I think why it's a good episode, it gave full screen time to the old cast and used Turbo's comedy to its advantage. I don't think this could have been pulled off in any of the older seasons. Ninja Steel maybe. Little history bit. This episode aired roughly 2 months after the video release of Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves and 4 months before Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV series began. This is a topic I can keep going on and on about. There's other episodes I had in mind, like The Trouble by the Slice, you can't forget that giant pizza, The Rescue Mission, the Alien PR episode, When Time Freezes Over, Love Struck Rangers, Sing Song, Perspective. It's endless. What are your weirdest episodes? I try to cover different types, goofy, spooky, crazy, and nonsensical, so it doesn't have to be one way. New episodes every Monday. Next week, characters that I like that most people don't.